Welcome to another edition of the Story Behind the Car. It's Tom, and this is Jerry.
Jerry.
And Jerry, you have a 1967 Corvette.
Yes, sir.
And can you tell us about your car?
Yes, I bought it in 1972, 1 week after I got out of the Army.
Wow.
I had to sell a 68 when I got drafted, so when I got out, I spent just the whole week after I got out looking for another one. So
wow. And were you in Vietnam?
I was not in Vietnam.
Okay.
It was Vietnam era, but
yes.
I went and ended up in Germany instead.
Oh, well, good for you.
Yes, that was a better deal than going to Vietnam.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, they were more friendly there.
Yes, very much.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to walk around, and can you tell us about your car?
Yes, it's a 327, 300 horse. It's a basic Corvette. It's no power steering, no power brakes, no air conditioning. I still have a little bit of work to do on the interior, but I had a shop do the paint, and I did a lot of work myself on rebuilding the suspension front and rear because it sat in the garage for 30 years.
So was it yellow when you originally yellow?
This is the original color, yes.
Okay. It's
repainted, but it's the original color.
Yes.
And all the chrome's original. It's not perfect, but
it's original.
It's yes. It
yeah.
is. And everything I had done is as original as I could get it.
Oh, I forgot the gas cap. I got to shoot that.
Oh yeah.
That is so pretty.
The restorer took this off to paint the car.
Yes.
And after he painted the car, he put it back on, and the yellows didn't match because this was faded from 50 years of sun.
Oh, okay.
So he had to take it off and repaint it, and he had to hand paint the flags. So.
Oh, wow. They absolutely look beautiful.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. He did a good job on that.
Yeah.
So.
And can we open the doors?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And you said it was a 327.
Yes, sir.
With a 4-speed.
Yes.
I just love the radio, the way it was.
Yeah, that unfortunately is not the original radio.
Yeah.
It didn't work, so I bought a modern radio to put in there. But I have a friend who's an electronics guy.
Yes.
He took the radio and got it working.
Okay.
So at some point I can put it back in.
Yeah.
The knob, the on-off knob, is also volume.
Okay.
The on-off part of that switch was broken.
Okay.
So he put a jumper around it, and when the engine runs, the radio will work.
Okay.
And when it doesn't run, the radio won't work. So that's mostly the time when you're listening to the radio.
Yes.
Anyway, when the engine's on. So
yeah.
At some point, it's a little bit of an effort to get in there and do it, but I may put that back in there sometime.
Very nice. And can we look at the 327, Jerry?
Sure.
And I just was noticed, I'll have to shoot it on the driver's door. I never noticed the lock mechanism. I've seen the handle that you open the door with, but I never noticed the lock. Yeah. Very cool. And it originally had a white top as well?
It did, yes.
Yes. Yeah, that's such a beautiful engine bay.
Yeah.
And it looks like you have pretty much stock. You got the original.
Yes, there's a few things. These covers were put on to protect the radio from hearing the spark plug wires.
Yes.
And there's some that go down underneath the manifolds, which are gone. They were gone when I bought the car.
Yeah.
So at some point I probably will replace those. But
yeah. Well, it's amazing you've had it all these years.
Yeah. I couldn't drive it, so it sat in the garage for 30 years. So we had to touch everything to get it back into operating.
And you couldn't drive it because mechanically it wasn't.
The engine was needed work, and it was fouling plugs.
Okay.
Very often, so it was could hardly.
People are showing up, so that's that
Yes.
engine sound in the background. Anything that we haven't touched on, Jerry, that we should mention?
I don't think so. It's just I've had it longer than I've had my kids.
Well,
I
wonderful.
bought it in 1972.
Okay.
It was 5 years old when I bought it.
Well, thank you so much, Jerry. I'm going to back up just
Quite
to
welcome.
finish up showing the car. And thank you for telling us the story behind the car.
You're quite welcome.